Welcome back, guys, to my most requested video so far of a build. In this case, we're still talking about VK Autobomber. I will remind my viewers that I have some pretty nutty gear and that there's only like 2 or 3 more upgrades that would push this build into the stratosphere, up there with like Cold Werebear in terms of tankiness. It can be done with the new very rare unique ring, which would grant us 10% more damage reduction if we have more than 180 stats, which we can get to. We can definitely do it. That is achievable. But even so, it's pretty strong. It still works. Everything's good. Let me make a little showcase of what the hell happened to my mono. I only have 2 paths. That's it. Like glancing blow and all resist. Jesus Christ. All right. You know what? Screw it. Let's just run it. Let's just run it. The build hasn't changed much. One of the things that we got nerfed with was one of the CDR nodes in the tree, which generates less abyssal orbs or slightly more. In other words, we're looking at the node basically right here, Chaotic Torrent, which now grants between 60 and 140 increased frequency for how much it generates abyssal orbs. Before that, it wasn't the case. It was a flat amount, so I feel like the generation got a bit bad, but we kind of compensated the missing damage by speccing into Smite instead of Abyssal. Abyssal was okay. Abyssal Echoes. I was using it for some very high level armor shreds with effect, like 100% increased effect armor shredding, because if you're a crit hit build, beyond the getting the crit, getting the multi, getting the attack or cast speed that you want, one of the things that are inevitably going to happen is you're going to have to get armor shred at one point. Because armor shred is effective for everything in this game, up to 70% for non-physical damage, so for cold, lightning, but also necrotic, void damage that are considered hits. So in this case, because I do hit, I really need some armor shred. That's kind of how it works. I'm still sitting at 359 corruption, by the way. So whether or not this feels fast enough for you guys remains to be seen. Personally, I think I'm doing okay. There are some pitfalls to this build that you have to be very careful with, such as I have 5,200 HP. Health pots almost don't do anything. The one reason that health pots make me tanky in this build is because I'm using Grimoire of Necrotic Elixirs and I take less damage. Speaking of which, I should upgrade that one to a better one. You could potentially just do this stuff with Smite. I was tinkering with a full Smite build instead of a Devouring Orb, simply because Devouring Orb has this node, Void Adept, which basically means when it casts, you get 20% more void damage if you have above 90 vitality. It was really hard. 91 vitality, there it is. Really hard though. Like you need some pretty nutty gear to get to that point, in my personal opinion. I also like him tanky, so I'm using the same gear as before, Titan Heart. I'm getting along with Smite just beautifully, and you might wonder, why the hell are you still clearing this? You finished it. Well, drops are getting pretty good these days. See what I mean? Even though the affixes still have their rarity, that's why you see a lot of items that have stun chance for them. For example, it's because they are weighted. So getting something rare, like in my personal case, I found that Marauder, which is flat physical, is kind of rare on some of my weapons, but stun chance is very, very common. Like I would say at least 30 to 40% of all exalted weapons I get are with stun chance. If they can have that suffix, they'll have that suffix as an exalted. I'm doing it because while I'm talking to you guys, we're going to be able to probably do a boss. I have taken this guy to tier 4s. Experience hasn't been that good. It's not really the build's fault. It's the fact that when you auto cast it like I do with the numlock trick, it stutters. And when it stutters, it's kind of complicated, to be honest with you. If it stutters, it's not good. So I got locked sometimes, and I got hit by void beams and jewel raw. Um, during one of the worst offenders was Heart of the Mountain, the second boss in Lightless Arbor, because I didn't have chance to dodge the radiant, poison beams in time because I was just stutter stepping to get there. It takes a bit to get used to, but this pretty much is one of the top end, like one of the top end monolith experiences in this game at the moment. I really don't think anything can come that close to this, unless it's some kind of busted build that needs to be nerfed. Technically, Devouring Orb has been slightly nerfed, so I don't think they're going to look at it again anytime soon. Also, again, just bear in mind that my gear is pretty stupid. It's going to take you some time to build something like this, but I'll show you what you can do if you're missing any of this gear, by the way. Because again, I'm greedy. I really want the top end possible situations. I min max everything. I'm only playing it offline right now because I really don't like some of the issues that we have on online servers. Such I've been hearing about like rollbacks and missing data and losing some of your progress on your character, and I hate the story. I just got to 2.9k hours in Last Epoch. I don't think I can survive getting rolled back after finishing part or like half of the campaign. I don't think I can stomach it. Really. So I'm just going to wait patiently until the bugs are over. Meanwhile, I'm going to release some more videos to test things out. I've been playing around with some of the uniques. I've been posting some of my ideas in the forums to give the newer players a chance to play with the new released zero point 0.9 uniques and see exactly how they feel about it. All right, one single guy. Is it going to hurt? No, because I think I accidentally stunned him by doing too much damage. I really wanted to see how much damage that ability did to me. I feel robbed of some experience. I was hoping it would like chunk me to half or something. I think it's important for you guys to know what happens if you get chunked. Again, potions don't do much except for my grimoire, which gives me some protection against poison, necrotic, and void damage. But we're all leech, and the idea that I really wanted to get 90 vitality to benefit from this one devouring orb node, because it's 20% more void damage if you have over 90 vitality, means I'm not using a siphon of anguish. So goodbye, 30% leech rate, an extra leech for void damage. I don't have that. Like literally, I'm just using 2 coral rings, baby. That it is what it is. I sacrificed a lot just to become this speedy clearing demon guy that just walks around and just everything dies around him. It's pretty good play style, pretty relaxing. Our damaging combos are the same in between the self casts of Devouring Orb. I just smite. That's about it. All right, am I close to doing the boss now? Because I really want to do a boss. No need tomes of experience at all. Everything's good. Cool. Oh, yes, we can, finally. Let's do another boss. 359, all resist, slow, and some speed and damage. He only has like 50 damage or something. No, 30. How much? Okay, 120% physical damage. That's nothing. So basically, I'm doing literally a no damage mod, Rive. So, you don't have to worry about it. In these situations, usually what I do before doing the boss is stack a lot of rarity that I can withstand, such as increased crit chance for them, because, well, if you have 100% crit avoidance, then they don't do crit, do they? They never crit you. All right, damage numbers look okay. How are tanking numbers? Meh. Yeah, I can face tank him with no damage mods. That's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm doing fine for a speed build. Like some direct damage builds might be able to do it a bit quicker than me, but you know what? This is rather comfortable. All right, come this way. Oh, nice. Intentionally left it popping because I kind of want you guys to see what happens if things go wrong. Notice that my health hasn't improved at all, and that sometimes I get kind of chunkied. So what happens in these situations is you gotta do damage to be able to leech back, right? Right now, the reason why my health isn't improving at all, remember, I'm using a Titan Heart, which gives me 0 leech, which is a problem. And over that, I still had 6 stacks of Mimic Feast, which are the debuff you get when your Ravenous Voids proc. Yeah, that also kind of is not really your friend later on. But over that, like for a speed build that can do some content but not incredibly difficult bossing, like with a shit ton of, with a shit ton of modifiers, I think I'm doing okay. I think this feels good enough for 359 corruption. In fact, I don't plan to do more than 350 corruption at all. Let's talk about what upgrades I feel like I'm missing that would push this build into the absolute goddamn stratosphere. Like completely annihilate everything else that by comparison. And what you can do if you don't have any of this gear, right? Because this is really rare. The staff is very rare. The gloves are incredibly, extremely rare. Like stacking hundreds of corruption can give you almost like a 3 or 4% chance of drop for Elder Gaspar, which was one of the bosses on a monolith no one farms because they don't have defensive benefits. They only have drop percent chance things. So if you want to get yourself Ravenous Voids, get the increased unique drop rate, get the increased glove drop rate. You have to stack everything in your favor, guys. Everything. Cool. So I don't have Omnividence. That's okay. You can use a Scepter and an offhand catalyst. You feel like you're doing damage, but investment in crit is too much. Okay. In that case, I would definitely say use a Singularity. This unique idol has between 18 to 20% more damage, but it prevents you from doing crits, which is fine. It's okay. And as you can note from my inventory, like for my idle slots, it only takes one tiny 1 by 1 slot. So in case you don't feel like you have enough crit, even 33% chance for me is kind of low. I'm kind of supplementing it with Anomaly, the buff I get from Time Bubble. If it feels too low, just, use Singularity until you get better gear, until you're ready for it. Some people never take Singularity off. And if you want some kind of, I want to improve, do this from the beginning and get to the end and still invest in this archetype in Devouring Orb, Void Knight, I have 2 solutions for you, not just one. So, beyond using Singularity and crapping on all of my crit chance gear, because most of my tier 6 and 7 affixes are locked into crit chance because I get none, like 0. And getting a skill to crit, to have 70% skill chance to crit when you start at 5% base is a huge investment. If that's not interesting for you, put 8 points into Void Blades, take a point out of Void Corruption, and leave everything as is. Like, yeah, basically everything else as is. Why would we take Void Blades? Because the new reworked Rive is pretty good. It's pretty good. You can get 1 physical void damage per vitality with Axe, and I have 91. This plus Maw is a pretty solid combo. You get like 300 base void damage, melee void damage for Rive. Doubles echo chances, which is really good, and then you just spec into Ripples of Oblivion for more damage per echo. This can be a non-crit build. I would suggest you do Rive with Devouring Orb self-cast, so just cast around you, gather some mobs, and then you just two-hand Rive your way to freedom. It doesn't have to be a crit build either, because getting crit on a Maw, the unique two-hand axe from Orbis, is a real pain in the ass. Trust me, I went through 6 of them with 1 LP. None of them hit. It's complicated. And to spec into crit, you'd have to spec into these nodes. And this is a long move away from the base tree to get to the Opportunist. And you still need Folk Cleaver, so you still have to put 3 points in Bound Weapon. So, you know what? For the beginning, 0 gear, nothing, no huge stash, no 100 stash tabs like I do. Just go simply with Echoes and Ripples of Oblivion, and then tag on a Singularity when you get it, because it is decent damage. Both Rive and Abyssal Orb will now scale with Vitality. So Abyssal Orb, kind of kills regular white mobs and stuff and gets them to you by annoying them with all of the casts and explosions, and then you just rive bosses to death. It's a very interesting playstyle and it's pretty relaxing. That would be the first thing. The second thing would be go all smite, baby. All smite. I had the lucky opportunity to basically get like 3 1 LP Omnividences from one single Lightless Arbor tier 4. And all of them had 3 1 LP. All 3 of them had 1 LP. And none of them ever got tier 6 cast speed. If I had tier 6 cast speed, I swear to God, I would make a smiter with Devouring Orb secondary, because it's very easy to do. So smite has these cute nodes that means you have a chance for double cast, plus it also creates echoes, because it's now a void skill if you speculate like this into the VK tree. So that means you get all of those echoes, double cast chance, but you're missing the one ingredient, which is attack speed, to make it feel comfortable. It's not bad, but it's just not that good. It's kind of with literally no cast speed, it kind of feels bad. So if I were to hit tier 6 cast speed on a staff, which is 70 something percent cast speed, it's pretty serious, I would literally consider making a smite build with Devouring Orb as a buffer, because Devouring Orb now has Void Adept, and what else can it do? No, nothing. All right. You can get some mana efficiency, but you don't need it. That's about it. I was hoping this is still Void Penetration. Yeah, that's a problem. So because this is Void Penetration, I was hoping I could shred some Void Resistance with it. It still gets the bonus if you have the Void Shred chance from the monolith I just completed. Every single hit, every single ability you have gets up to 50% void resistance shred. So that's not an issue. I was just hoping to build it a bit more defensive like this. You don't need, like, why on earth would you put void resistance for a Void Knight when it's the one resistance we literally get enough of from the tree? You don't even need it on any suffix, on any piece of gear. But whatever. So I would do Devouring Orb, not so many points. You don't care about points anymore. I would go full armor shred efficiency and vitality on my helmet, on my chest. The way I have this set up is I really wanted that for Devouring Orb. Yeah. Because I really wanted to spec into everything. I'm very greedy with these builds. I used to run around with an Omnividence, an Omnis here, for the +1, because I really wanted all the points. Now, what do I need to make this character absolutely horrendously better? Well, I need this, but with Devouring Orb +4 on it. If I get that, I'm set. Because I go from 33% crit to 60% crit. And if I also do this, I get 70% crit. Like, this is a monstrously big increased crit chance for me. It's great. I lose a ton of armor, but I also get some less elemental damage taken, which is good. That kind of thing is good. This would make my day. If I manage to get that and also get these 15 vitality on a Face of the Mountain boots, I'm sold for life. That's it. That's going to be my dream character. Then a Ring of Anestheria, I believe it's called. It's the get 10% reduced damage if you have at least 160 stats, which is obtainable if you also use Foot of the Mountain, because it has up to 12 all stats. So this is 60 stats just on this pair of boots. And then I'm done. This character shall be deemed complete. Complete. So this is the update. I feel like it clears a fraction slower, but you're not even going to really feel it because of the changes in the CDR from the Devouring Orb tree. Strong as hell. I just went with Smite and it hits like a truck. It hits much harder than Devouring Orb. Character is ready for business. If I manage to get the crit that I want with Prismatic Gaze, Then I'm just going to farm the ring and the boots, and the character will be retired because it will be complete. Thank you so much for watching. As usual, I'm going to leave some planners down below. And, just keep doing what you're doing. If you have any questions, if you have any good ideas, just PM me right on YouTube, on Reddit, Eric Berrick, the same name, and I'll be here to help you out with your builds. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.